They say it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And you could tell when a person has ill intentions with what they're saying. You could say, I think it'd be better if you do this, instead of saying y'all need to do this, or you wasting your time, or something like that. But people just love to miss the message because they looking at the messenger. And I honestly believe, see, I have, my discernment is impeccable, and I can look past a person's words, because people could say anything. God judges a man by his heart. I could say anything out my mouth, but does that really mean that I hate black people, or I hate black women, or I hate white people, or I hate black? People just don't have the spiritual discernment, because it's all about your intentions. And someone brought up a good point, that it is some black people that hate black people more than white people do. There are black people who hate black people more than white people do. Let's make that clear. Everybody is not righteous, and everybody's not going to speak their mind and stand on what they believe in. They want to tickle your ears and tell you what you want to hear, but secretly despise you and hate you. So I feel like all of this is orchestrated. Everything is done intentionally on purpose to divide people, to divide the races, to put black against black, white against white, white against black, all of that, instead of looking at the facts. It's never about race to me. It's not about race to me. It's about what's right and what's wrong. If Charlie Kirk was black, I'm sure that black people would listen to his words more than just looking at the outside. Anybody could take a clip out of what a person said and make that their whole life story, just to exploit and try to paint a picture of a person. That's like looking into my life and saying that I'm a bad person because I did drugs, and that's just the sum total of me. You know what I'm saying? I just don't like that. I think that's just so easy to just say, instead of acknowledging what I offer and what I bring to the table in life. But my blessings and my presence is not for everybody. If you want to hop on the bandwagon and magnify and dwell on what I did back in 2001 or 2020 or 1995, if you want to bring up that, then go right ahead. If that makes you feel better about how you feel about me, go right ahead. You know what I'm saying? But it's just irritating. It's really annoying, irritating to see all of these comments on Facebook and people making videos on YouTube talking bad about Charlie Kirk and hopping on a bandwagon and all of that, when what world do we live in where you can see this video of him being shot in his neck, blood gushing out all over the place, and people can talk trash about that, talk trash about this man? We should be talking about the fact that this was done intentionally on purpose. We should not even be witnessing that type of tragedy on camera. That's horrific. That's traumatizing, and I'm sure that kids probably have access to it, even kids in high school, kids in college. That's horrendous. That's horrible. The world is a horrible place, because there should not be no debate about whether a person should be shot live on camera and shown across the world for the world to see. That's just horrible. Can we talk about that, please? Please. If y'all gonna talk about anything, talk about how that's horrible for this to be shown across the world. Just like when that girl was murdered in Chicago and people will record showing her on the ground, laying on the ground, unalived on the ground. We just live in a horrible, sick society. Anybody could feel justified in their wrongdoing, but a life is precious, no matter what race they are. Nobody has the right to take a person's life just because they don't like them or they have a different opinion and what they said out their mouth. That's just dumb and ignorant. That's just evil. And anybody that's condoning that, you just as bad, because nobody gets a pass in my book. It doesn't matter what race you are. Nobody gets a pass in my book. The man who unalived the lady on that light rail in North Carolina, that was terrible and ridiculous. I don't sympathize with that black man who unalived that woman for no apparent reason. That doesn't make me feel good. That's horrible. That means it's not safe out here. It's not safe. This is planned. This is orchestrated to create division and for people to miss the real reason why that happened to Charlie Kirk. Just like Cat Williams. The internet went crazy when Cat Williams went on Shannon Sharp's show. And Cat Williams, he was exposing all of this stuff that happens in Hollywood and everything. He was exposing all this stuff, and everybody think that he one of us. Oh, he's spilling the beans, or he's speaking the truth, and all this and that. Not knowing that he is controlled opposition. He with them people too. Like, I'm confused at how people are easily convinced of lies and misinformation because it's comfortable for them. It feels familiar to them. Just like I said, repetition creates beliefs. Lies can become truth if you hear it over and over and over and over again. You can start to believe a lie if you hear it constantly and repetitively. You start to think that it's a fact. Just like the lady said, Donald Trump, let them forget them people. Forget them. If they don't want you to come help them in Chicago, then let them just destroy themselves. I'm convinced that most people do not have the gift of discernment to understand right from wrong, and without the outside appearance clouding their judgment. And like, why don't black people have that same energy to talk trash about these NIGGAs who are violent AF? I think that's what the society wants to see. They want to see black people get on here and bash him instead of focusing on what really the problem is, what the real issues are. It's just so easy to say, look over here, look at this. He's racist, bash him, look at him. Instead of looking at what's really going on in the world. Black people are unaliving black people at the highest rate amongst races. But that doesn't get talked about. We don't make videos about that. We only make videos about when white people, something bad happened to them. Now black people want to be happy about it.